Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with well under 20 total carbs for the day. Well, look at this. Does the fun ever end? A summer bathrobe, but we're on the 6th day of a heat wave, so I figure it's safe to put on a lightweight bathrobe and that I'll be safe. Don't you think? Oh, the trials and tribulations of being me. It's not easy. So how is everybody doing today? Are you being good with your keto, or are you starting to slip and slide? I'm starting to see a slip and slide with keto people throwing in the treats, and I hope that they are safe. And when they put, when they put a recipe up or they talk about having something seasonal, I hope that it is tracked and weighed and measured and everything matches up. It seems a little slippery, but that's okay. We have to be careful about slippery. And so that's why today's topic is about being slippery. And I know that for me, my slippery times began in my head. And I started thinking, you're special. And that I could have something that I wouldn't have any other day of the year. And it's summer. And so I know that there's a lot of different events where sometimes it's like street vendor type stuff. Other times it's like socials or reunions or just places where it's just so big. Food and summer being in the United States of America or Canada, it's just crazy. And so one has to be careful. It's funny because of course I work with people, so I get to, peek into their chronometer. And some people are just like me. It's another day when it comes to food. Nothing is glorified or romanced or a fantasy that it's come true. And then for other people, it's like a reason to have a treat. And so, of course, I honor both. I just want them to stay in the safe zone. And for me, I know that my sweet tooth didn't go away until it was like eliminated. All of this stuff went away. I can't eat anything that like is defined as a dessert or a treat, even keto-fied, in safety, because this thing gets quite wonky. And then, all of the change comes over. And suddenly it's like I'm leaving space to allow for that. And ask yourself, is there nutrition in this? If you're having something like seasonal berries, yes, there's wonderful antioxidants in it, but you need to weigh and measure because it could go a little awry as well. And I would definitely go organic if it's not coming from your own berry bushes, because, you don't know where it came from. And if you can buy it local, it might be safer for you. You just need to be careful. And you need to be careful of people adding things to store-bought things or low-carb recipes that you see online. I just don't go near it. I conquered my addiction to sweet. Keto Christina she used to talk about a sugar addiction, and then she said, no, it's an addiction to sweet. And I so understand that now. And, I still do put coffee in my sweetener, coffee in my sweetener in my coffee. And that's where it ends right there and then. And it just takes some of the bitterness out because I'm a pretty strong coffee drinker. And so I have that, just like when I have the electrolytes from Dr. Price on my mixture of powders in the morning before I have my lemon water. And I sprinkle that on top of the powders to take some of that bitterness away. So it just works. But I'm not craving, I'm not trying to find a way to have some sort of sugar or sweetener in my daily food plan. I'm not giving up my big salad with the delicious oils to shuttle the nutrients into my body, so I can have something sweet. And I'm noticing an awful lot of food porn in places that heretofore were safe for me to go to. And I don't know. I just, as soon as I see it, I just pop back out of it because I start thinking, Oh, maybe this would be okay. Well, for me, it's not. And I just, I feel like I'm a buzzkill for people that want to enjoy their desserts. But I remain consistent, and it's just safer. I need to be safe. My food addiction, my sweet addiction, my carb addiction is alive and well, and I could let it slowly creep back in and be in triple trouble, forget double trouble. So anyway, that being said, yeah, let's continue. You can call me the buzzkill today. Anyway, so just be very, very careful. A spoonful of something. I have my friend Miss Joyce out in Kansas, and she still talks about sitting next to her Weight Watcher friend who was no longer doing Weight Watchers, and they were in a restaurant, and she ordered a dessert, and there, and there went Miss Joyce's fork into that woman's dessert, and she had a bite, and she can still talk about it today, like somebody's first view of the Grand Canyon. Talk about romancing the bite. I so get it. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. I'm not safe with my fork going into your stuff. It's like that's not my hood. So I stay healthily enchanted with my savory foods, my fatty meats with a pat of butter on it, my big nutritionally dense green leafies with the wonderful oils on them, and that pretty much gets me through my OMAD. I have 2 coffees with butter and or a splash of brain octane in them. A splash, I mean I'm weighing it. It's 5 grams. A couple of times a day. I'm not doing a heavy load of a BPC anymore. I still have a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream with no carrageenan, organic in it when I have my 2 coffees. And those are planned. They are tracked. They're weighed. I just don't, free pour. I used to be a free pouring bartender, but now I am a weigh and measure, because those are the slippery places, right? The oils, the butter, the heavy whipping cream, the brain octane, all those things add up and add up quick. And yes, they're a fat, so they're probably the least dangerous of all the macros. But still, to have a strict practice over here and then let it go with that, you know what I'm saying? Are you consistent? So try to be consistent in the slippery season, also known as summer. So today is just an ordinary, wonderful day of foods, and this is what I am having. How did I do that? I got out of it instead of into the macros. So I use the Chronometer. I put my food in before I eat, usually, sometimes on a slow night at work or a break in a busy night, I will put the bones of my food into my Chronometer. So then when I go to my market basket for my foods for the week, I have an idea of what I'm going to need. So I did that, and, I put in my Sunday, my Monday, my Tuesday, and my Wednesday, pretty much the protein that I'm going to have. And then, of course, I build a big salad around it. So it's in there. And so when I go shopping, I know, no, I don't need party wings this week. Yes, I do need ground beef this week. Yes, I'm having a tenderloin, so I'll buy that. Yes, I'm planning an omelet, so I'll make sure that I have my jumbo Pete and Jerry eggs, maybe double yolks, in the fridge. The cheeses that I'll need, the cream cheese for the keto pizza. So I make sure that I've got everything in there, and it just works. It's just being on top of it. It's that organizational blessing and curse, as I say. So, I'm covered. And this is a COYA, right, Cindy Brown? Program where you cover your own ass. You do not want to be left out having to make decisions, spur of the moment, maybe after a glass of an adult beverage that you've tracked, or maybe you haven't tracked it yet, and thinking that you can be safe. You might not be. And I just want you to be safe, because it's loosey-goosey. And if your goal is to lose weight, you can't do a weekend of food choices that aren't tracked, weighed, and measured and then go back on sheepishly, kind of, sort of, on Monday, where you're really not into it because you're withdrawing from the carbs and or the sugars and or the alcohol that you treated yourself to all weekend. Are you seeing? It doesn't balance out. Sometimes you might gain, and you don't want to gain. If you've lost, like, say, 17 pounds coming into the summer, why risk that 17 pounds? Why all of a sudden gain 4 and get yourself back into, okay, now I'm at 13. Well, I'll stay there. I'll stay there. Don't make me have to have a smackdown with you. And you know who you are, where you think you're allowing yourself. And don't get into, this is the scary part. If you're a tracker, don't say, well, I'm having it, but I'm tracking it, so it's okay. Huh? No. So your carbs are like way off the chart from what you were doing and losing consistently, or your protein is wicked, wicked high, and you're an older, maybe, woman, maybe, and the protein doesn't work for you. Yes, it works for somebody that's, young enough to be our daughter or granddaughter, but it might not work for us as we're older. So I want you to be very, very careful. So I'm running long. What else is new? These are my macros for the day. Okay. I am having 1,330 calories. My protein is 39.4, and my carbs are 10.8. What am I having? Well, I'm having baby back pork ribs and a great big salad, and my 2 coffees with the butter and the heavy whipping cream in them. And that's it. 1,330 calories, 10.8 carbs. There's going to be 4 tablespoons of oil, 2 macadamia, and 2 extra virgin olive oil on my salad. My salad lettuces are all organic this week. Romaine, red leaf, arugula, spring mix, baby spinach. So I've got 5 different tubbies or bunches of the lettuces with the romaine and the red leaf. And I weigh and measure, and I keep myself safe that way. I do it with the oils. I do it with the butter and the heavy whipping cream and the coffee. And the meat, I'm assuming it's 5 ounces of meat. It's, of course, still on the bone. So that's how I'm rolling today. Please be careful. Slippery in the summer. It's going to be hard to get it back. And especially now, if it's just July, you still have a few more months of outside stuffing. Stuffing, barbecuing and grilling and socials and cookouts and people bringing dishes and the temptations. So you need to COYA, Koya. Thank you, Cindy, for saying that. I like that. And I will see you the next time. And you can always hire me as your Sergeant Sarah at ketocoachingsarah.com. I will be the extra set of eyes on your food and your tracking. And I want to pull you in, because nothing feels as good as either your white pants fitting you at the end of the summer as well as at the beginning, or maybe they're loose at the end of the summer, and that scale saying nice things as well, because sometimes our non-scale victories are inches. Okay? And I will see you the next time here. Thank you so much for watching. Couldn't do this without you, and I don't want to either. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.